final year of his contract, putting his future in Dallas in question. He said yesterday that he wants to stay in Dallas, but it might not be his decision, and that choice could be up to Jerry Jones, who had this to say about his quarterback. Let's take a listen.
Just to be very specific, I do not think that this will be his last year with the Cowboys at all. I want to say it if it hadn't been clear of how much we appreciate what Dak Prescott has meant to this team in a positive way. And the players do play better when he's out there. He does make his teammates play at a higher level. There's no question about it.
I'm never going to discourage Jerry from being in front of a microphone because he gives us great material. But when coaches are asked about who's getting paid and they're like, yeah, I don't, it's like above my pay grade, like they're telling the truth. Jerry is the owner. Like, if you want to talk about who's getting paid, you are the owner. You decide who gets paid. Dave, should Dak Prescott want to stay in Dallas?
You know what's crazy watching that quote, watching Jerry say that? Is I'm about to say something that sounds nuts because Jerry owns the most valuable franchise in the league. He's one of the most influential owners in all of sports, but definitely the NFL. His opinion's kind of irrelevant. Like what Jerry Jones wants or thinks to happen about this is kind of irrelevant. And that's where I fall on this is I don't think Dak Prescott should care. Which again sounds crazy because we know
he shouldn't care about staying in Dallas.
He shouldn't care about where he plays football in 2025 because it's all going to be rosy for Dak Prescott regardless. Dak Prescott is heading into the final year of his deal with a no tag clause, no trade clause. There's nothing the Cowboys can do to stop him from hitting the open market. And if they could put an amazing offer in front of him, they could offer to put him on top of the market tomorrow. And if for some reason Dak just doesn't want to be in Dallas, if he decides, you know what, I've kind of had enough of the circus, kind of had enough of my owner talking 5 times a week like Jerry Jones likes to do, then that's up to Dak. And I also think he has just fought so hard for this leverage. Why give it up now? Why give it up on the eve of hitting free agency at the age of 31 years old with the ability, we've been talking about what quarterbacks get paid, that number Dak signs for is going to start with a 6. Just get ready for it. So on the eve of the season, why would you give that up? James, we talked about this before the show. You remember when Kirk Cousins did this, Kirk Cousins signed a fully guaranteed deal that was only 3 years long and let him hit free agency again not that long later, and now he's in Atlanta. Why would Dak give up that sort of leverage to call his shots, get whatever deal he wants, and have at least half a dozen teams, if not a lot more, fighting over him? And the Cowboys can be one of them. I think Dak loves it in Dallas. It's obviously where he's grown up as a man. That's where his family is. It's where he's won a lot of football games. The Cowboys can be one of them for sure, but Dak Prescott should be looking for the best deal and the best situation possible. And if it's not Dallas, I really don't think he should care.
Shady, should Dak want to stay in Dallas?
Nah, it's time for Dak to go, man. If I'm in his shoes, I'm thinking about every time we get to the playoffs, I get blamed, right? Now, he does have some bad games, but other people do too, right? Now, I like to blame the quarterback because they get paid all this money for a reason, so why not take all the blame? Like, you get all the praise. And I think, like, Dallas, just like the Lakers, man, like, everybody, you be a good player and not fit in Los Angeles, right? The lights are bright. And every little mistake, we're watching, we're seeing, we're talking about. We're big-time players, right? Like the NBA, Indiana Pacers. You kind of go under the rug a little bit. Nobody might not notice you making mistakes, or you're not, taking your team to championships and et cetera, right? Look at how the way that, we judge guys like Westbrook when he's with the Lakers compared to other teams. You get what I'm saying? So maybe with Dak Prescott, maybe the Cowboys is too big of a brand for him. Where if he goes to Tennessee, where maybe if he doesn't play well in the playoffs, right, we'll be like, well, he had a good year. He's an MVP type of player. You get what I'm saying? So I think it doesn't really fit. And then the last part is when you start talking a certain way, like, as I look around, I see all these, great players, great quarterbacks I watch play on other teams and they didn't finish their career where they started at. When you say things like that, it's like, okay, you're already thinking that. So if you're already thinking that, especially in football, you can't ever go back. So I think it's time for Dak to go.
I don't think Dak should want to stay in Dallas. Sometimes in business, we romanticize situations, right? Like we get real loyal to things that don't really require loyalty. We get attached to cities. We get We have people around us that we like working with, and we are all emotional creatures, despite what people will tell you. Men have emotions as well. And you get attached to things. Like, you like the idea of saying that. I mean, we had a whole conversation about how much you would have loved to stay in Philly your entire career. Yeah. Now, you have 2 Super Bowl rings, and neither of them are from Philly. Nope. But you have romantic attachments to certain places and loyalties to things. But Dak's reputation, I think, would be extremely different. I think we would talk so highly of Dak if Dak wasn't in Dallas.
Say it, Joy.
We talk about Kirk Cousins like Kirk is a certified game-changing asset. And Kirk is a good quarterback.
Yeah.
But Kirk unequivocally does not have the success that Dak Prescott has.
No.
Kirk is 1-3 in the playoffs in 12 seasons.
Yeah.
Where's that paper? Where's the paper with the list? You see Kirk's name right there?
45 mil.
He's up there.
1 playoff win. 1 playoff win in 12 seasons.
Yeah.
We're so nice to Kirk. We're like, Kirk gets his money. Good for Kirk. Good for you. Might be a playoff team now. He's done nothing in his career that warrants this type of praise if we're being honest about it.
No doubt.
But Dak is looked at as almost like a failure, and I really believe it's because he's with the Cowboys. Now, look, Dak, to Shady's point, has had some mishaps in the playoffs. Some of those losses are on him. He has a ton of help around him, but he also is criticized in a way that I think is very different. And that reprieve from that criticism and expectations that comes with the Cowboys, he's walking around with this 30-year boulder on his back. Yeah. Like, the 30 years of not, or 29, whatever it is, we're rounding up, of not making it to an NFC Championship game is not all on Dak. Yeah. That's not on him. The years that he's been there, and take out his rookie year if we want, that might be on him. But I think that if/when he goes to a different team and he plays at the level that he's playing, we would look and talk about Dak Prescott in a completely different way. And I think he's done an incredible job being the franchise quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, because I believe that's a very hard job to do. But we just criticize this team and focus and talk about this team and watch, to Shady's point, with a much closer lens than we do other teams.
Yeah, that's a really good take right there, Joy. I agree with everything right there. Dak should want to get up out of there. I know when I'm not appreciated. The Dallas Cowboys do not appreciate Dak Prescott. And it's not what I think, it's what they say. And it's what they do. The very first time that I came up for a contract and played at a really high level, you said, you know what, we don't really believe in you like that, but we believe in our running back, right? Who the most valuable on the team?
Quarterback.
That's what you say, yes. Not Jerry, because Jerry said most valuable on the team right now is Zeke, so we're going to give him all this money. I just came off of an all-pro year, best year of my career, second in MVP voting. And we sitting here talking about, should the Dallas Cowboys pay Dak Prescott? That's what we're talking about. And we're super excited and juiced about Trevor Lawrence and Tua getting their money. And we over here, and Dak got to fight for his and play out his contract and do all that. Then you listen to the comments that Jerry Jones says about Dak Prescott, which lets me know further that you don't appreciate me. So if you don't appreciate me and what I've done for this organization on and off the football field, it's time for me to go. It is time for me to go. Dak Prescott has been a really good quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott has done everything right on and off the football field. You could go to the playoff wins and all that and blame that on Dak all you want, but y'all just told me you pay for notoriety, you pay for all this type of stuff.
They don't get that anyway.
You know what I mean? Dak brings that, but it don't turn into money. He's unappreciated over there, man.
Appreciate. So do we appreciate the 2-5 like playoffs?
They don't. That's why they ain't paying him.
Well, I'm saying, like, what are we?
But what I'm saying is, Shady, we appreciate that with everybody else, though.
Well, it's just the Dallas Cowboys.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. So it's time to go so I can feel appreciated. Bring another quarterback in. Is it Trey Lance? Is it Cooper Rush? Is it draft a guy? Is it bring a guy in free agency? Maybe go bring a Kirk Cousins in free agency. He might be in free agency again after the Falcons drafted the first round. Maybe bring him in. He 1-3. Maybe we'll be talking highly about the Dallas Cowboys.
The problem is, though, I think you don't understand is that you're not the one writing that check. If you was the one writing that check to this guy, right, the most valuable position, right, Dave?
Yep.
And I'm paying you all this money again, because I did it before. Paying you again, even more money now. $60 million, we thinking, a year?
Yes.
And I'm gonna get the same results.
But
now hold up now.
Go ahead.
Now you made a lot of money in your career, so you know about investments, right? If I'm investing this money in here now, I want a nice return, don't I? Or you don't care about returns?
No, I do.
Because Jerry Jones cares about returns.
But the NFL and the owners don't care about returns.
Well,
and Jerry, it's been 30 years. All I'm saying is $55 million a year for Trevor Lawrence. What's the return?
They're not the Dallas Cowboys.
But I'm just saying it's the quarterback spot.
They're not the Cowboys, but also Dak's already been paid. So
Yeah.
So criticize the Dallas Cowboys.
No.